you said a word that I really love, which is authentic, and how important it is to be authentic in this. And I would love to hear, first of all, have you found that you've been able to show that authenticity throughout the hiring process at a firm? And have you found that helps with your recruiting funnel as well, with the diversity of your funnel?
Yeah, I think that that's super important, because there are a lot of times that companies spend a lot of time figuring out how to talk about DEI in the interview process, or how to position it on the careers page and so forth. And the intent typically is to position you as best as possible because you're trying to attract talent. That's really not the way to do it. You should not be, I don't want to use the word afraid, but it's what's coming to mind, where you kind of think, well, if I really tell folks honestly that we are not diverse, but we really want to move the needle, people are just going to look at us and they're going to be like, no way, I'd rather go to the company that is. That's not actually true. People are looking to understand what they're really signing up for when they actually execute that offer letter, right? And that it's authentic. So that's important. And when I came into a firm, the company was not diverse. And I wouldn't say that I asked those questions in my process, because I didn't get that indication where I was like poking holes to see like, oh, you're saying you're diverse and so forth and so on. So what we did was we took our brand and we thought about it from the perspective of how do we tell our story in an authentic way? And that was through our diversity and inclusion report, which we started to say, we're going to go public with our data, even though we're small and private and it's not that great. We're going to be public with it. And we're going to have this conversation consistently year over year with the tech community. And we're going to we're holding ourselves accountable to show progress against our goals. And so what we did then was everything that we did, we incorporated that into our talent brand. So everything. And then every part of our program had a lens of DEI. So we didn't just do sourcing sessions. We did URG sourcing sessions, and URG means underrepresented groups. So we did URG sourcing sessions. We didn't just do a university program. We shifted it. So when I came in, it was really focused on the Stanfords and the MITs, and everybody who's listening right now knows exactly what I'm talking about. So it was all of that. Instead, we thought, okay, how do we shift that to women's colleges, HBCUs, state schools? And see what happens over time, which Gabe, you and I talked about offline, which I want to bring here, is you start to move towards a more non-traditional routes of what you think is the expectation of building a great engineering team. How do you define great? Traditionally in the market, and what I'm excited about seeing the shift that's slowly happening, and all of you really have to help make that shift, is what marked a great engineering team was the school and the credentials that they had and where they were coming from. And I'm not discounting that. I'm just saying that what makes a great engineering team is a diverse team. You're all coding behind the scenes and doing all the great work that actually builds the product, and your consumer base needs to reflect the team that's building it. 100%. There's a valid business case there. And so I would encourage you to think through that lens when you're building your brand, period, and take the incremental steps to get there. And it's, give your engineers a voice in the blog. We give a lot of our women of color, engineers, just generally people of color, and straight just women engineers in general, we give them a voice in our blogs to really share not only the work that they're doing, which is pretty freaking awesome, but it's also, what it means to be on the team and talk about the good stuff and the bad stuff. Yeah. And that's what I mean about sharing with the tech community. And we're not afraid of that, right? If you actually go and take a look at our blogs, you'll see a lot of examples on this.